During the whole class, you hated it?
The whole class. Well, yeah, because my body felt like cement. I was so inflexible. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. You know how that goes? Like I had no idea what I was doing.
So you felt a little inferior?
Yeah. Well, yeah. When your body is not, when you're not flexible, it doesn't feel good, right? So, like Yoga Journal does this marketing where everybody's on the front of the magazine, like looking all zen and like they're loving it. And the truth is, like, it's actually really hard work. But when you're done, when I was done, I felt so great.
You said on the front of the magazine, they look at what?
They're all zen and like they love it, like they're all happy and like really thrilled to be doing it. And it's like never how it is.
That's not how it is.
Until you're done, and then you feel amazing. And then I was hooked.
2007.
2007.
Went to this class.
Yep.
Somebody take you, or you just
I went by myself.
Just I'm gonna try this yoga.
Yeah, because I just had Aiden.
Was that something that was on your mind, or was this impulse?
Well, I had heard about the benefits of yoga and how good it was for you, but I just went on impulse because I, like I said, I had just had Aiden. I was looking for something to like do to get for myself to get out of the house and not, you know. Yeah. And so I just went, and then
and you hated it.
And I hated it until I was done. At the end of the class, though, I felt the best I had ever had.
Did you really?
Yeah. And so then how it goes though is I would go. Since I had Aiden and he was a young kid, my mom would come over every Wednesday night, and that was like my time. I would go to yoga every Wednesday evening.
That was your time.
That was my time.
That's me time.
Yeah. And I would literally, it's kind of funny because I would literally wait all week.
You got me crying up here.
It's kind of funny.
Go ahead, I'm
sorry. So I would wait all week long to go, and it dawned on me finally, I was like, why am I waiting a whole week to feel good? Why am I not doing this more often? Because I would just do it once a week.
And this is at your beginning?
This is at the beginning.
That's the day you went, you hated, but you got home
and then
and
I just kept, and then I went the next week.
Oh, okay.
And then I just kept, like it dawned on me, like why am I waiting to feel good once a week? Like I felt like so amazing when I was done with it.
Right. From that first class that you hated, the result was some kind of beautifulness for you?
It was incredible, yeah. Felt, how I would describe it is I feel like more like myself.
Oh, wow. So like a little spiritual journey?
Yeah, of course. And then obviously like when your body feels better, your mind feels better. It's all connected, right? And then when your mind feels good, your body feels good. And that's just how life is good. Right, and then life is good. And so then I started, and then I just kept going and going, and then eventually I was like, I better take a teacher training because I need to share this with people. That was always my thing.
So you had a passion.
Yeah.
It was like, I want you to feel good too.
And it was that light bulb moment for me, like after getting out of college, I didn't know what I really wanted to do, and all of a sudden it was like, this is it. Right. And I just knew.
So how many weeks had you been going before you decided like, I want to share that?
Months.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a couple months.
So to get easier and easier and easier for you?
No, it's still not easy.
But you still got that joy out of it.
It gets harder, actually. As you go through it. Yeah, even though like you get more comfortable with it because you kind of know what to expect, but the longer you practice, the harder it's tough. So from there, I took a teacher training, and then I started teaching, and then.
So I'm sorry, to teach yoga, do you need a certification?
Yeah.
You need to be certified?
Yep. So it's a 200-hour certification to be. Most places need that for you to be able to teach.
Yeah.
But 200 hours is not a ton. No, I mean, it's like a lifelong.
For your personal gain.
Right, it's like a lifelong study. So
from first time, hate it, but loved it right afterwards.
As soon as I was done.
Why am I waiting a week or so to go when I can go more often?
Right. Why would I wait a week to feel good?
Right.
It's ridiculous. Like I'm alive every day. Why would I not feel good every day?
My girl, I like how you speak, woman.
So November 1st. So from back then, and then I started teaching a bunch. On November 1st, it will be 12 years that I've done yoga every single day and have not missed one day.
12 years of your beautiful life?
Yep.
Wow.
Because I'm not going to live, I'm alive every day, let's be alive.
Yeah, you shine like a star.
That's right.
So where did you start teaching? Did you start teaching where you were a student at?
Yep, so there is another studio in town, which a lot of respect for. It's called Funky Buddha.
Okay.
And I actually took their very first class when they first opened.
Oh, is this the first one you went to ever?
No, that wasn't the first class. The new studio was opening, so I was going to check it out.
Oh, all right.
The first place I practiced at was Expressions of Grace, and shout out to Carol. She was my first teacher, and she was the best. But no, then I took a class at Funky Buddha, the very first one.
Oh, you were actually saying Funky Buddha.
Yeah.
I was trying to catch...
That's the yoga studio.
Oh, okay, I was trying to catch on. I was like, what's she just saying?
So I took a class there.
Right.
And as soon as I took the class there, the way it was a power vinyasa class. So there's all sorts of different styles of yoga, tons of different ones. Right. And power vinyasa is more like a powerful flow, which that grabbed my attention, and like I like that.
You got a lot of energy. You know, I'm a boxer.
Yes.
You know, I'm into the spiritual feeling.
Yes.
You just like boom. I love it.
So I took that class and I was like, this is where I want to teach. So I emailed the owner, and eventually I started teaching there.
Ah, that's awesome.
And I taught there for 5 years.
That's here in Grand Rapids also, right?
Yep. Yeah. And I taught there for 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then it was just, after 5 years, it was time to go.
Yes.
And had to do my own thing, just for various reasons. But again, I have mad respect for the studio. They do great. It's amazing. And so I left, and then part of my role at Funky Buddha was also to train teachers. So I would train teachers how to teach.
Right.
And one of the girls that I trained to teach, her name is Molly. Shout out to her. She's the one that opened the studio with me as well. But we both left, and she was like, well, what are we going to do? And I'm like, well, I always teach on Monday nights. So that was a Friday. Right. We were done. And I was like, well, I always teach on Monday nights. I always had. And I'm like, so we're just going to do that. And we taught a class in my living room. And we just did it as donation-based.
Yeah.
And we were like, if nobody shows up, I'll just teach you.
We'll still get our benefit.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we, the living room in my house currently can fit around like 20 mats in the space.
Right.
And eventually it got over time it got so big, I couldn't.
Right in your living room?
Yeah, I couldn't have people.
That sounds better than Amway with soap in their garage.
Yeah, so I couldn't, I don't know, couldn't hold it there anymore. And eventually, long story, like we started teaching donation-based classes all around town. The art museum let us use their space. We would like host like 130 people in there for donation-based classes. And then eventually we found our space over here on the west side, and we've been there for 8 years on April 1st.
Oh, God bless you, honey. Now tell us about the name of your studio.
Yeah.
So where did that come about?
Well, so it's called AM. Most people think AM. It's because of a funny joke, like, oh, you guys only do morning yoga? I'm like, no, we go 7 days a week, all times a day.
AM yoga.
Yes, yeah. So like in the
they only open in the daytime.
Yeah, when we came up with the name, it didn't dawn on me that people would think that, but I mean now it makes sense, and now it's just a joke and we laugh about it. And then also people think it's funny because my middle name is Marie, so they think it's Ashley Marie, and I'm like, my gosh, you guys, like, no, I would never.
Oh, so you are AM?
No.
Oh, you are the AM?
No, but people want to joke about that too.
Just kind of happened like that, Ashley.
Yeah, that's right. So AM, so I am, period, is like a high spiritual state. Like then you get to choose whatever that is after that, and then the next is then you be, etc.
Yeah, that is.
And I was actually pumping gas, and it just came to me, and I was like, oh, it's AM.
So did you have the studio prior to that, or
no? We knew we were looking for space.
Right.
And then the name just came, and it was like,
that was it. Yep. Pumping gas.
Yeah, and so. Part of the story as well is after we left Funky Buddha, we were teaching donation-based classes, and Molly and I were sitting at my kitchen table, and I remember saying to her, we need a program or something, like we need something more than just yoga classes.
Right, a little structure of stuff.
And so we came up with a program called 365, and the idea was, we called it a 365 program. It's still going to this day. And the only reason we did it is because that's just what I did. I practiced every day. So I was like, well, why don't we create a group?
365.
Why don't we create a group where I can help support people and make like podcasts and videos and help them, even if it's 5 minutes a day. It doesn't have to be an hour-long practice. If you do it 5 minutes, you still feel better.
Yes.
And so the idea was to create this group of people and that I could help support practice daily.
Wow, that's beautiful, man.
And so her and I was like, well, maybe 10 people will sign up. We charged $365, so $1 a day for all this content, whatever.
Yeah.
So we did. We were like, well, maybe 10 people will sign up.
Well, we hoping 10 people might sign up.
Maybe.
Yeah, but you get a few people, right?
So then November 1st, January 1st, so New Year's, everybody's like, New Year, New You. Right. But like, that's always a big day for a class. So we didn't have the studio. We were still doing it at my house, out of my house. I had to sign up, I had to have people sign up because I'm like, I only have 20 spots. Well, next thing I know, there's like 60 people signed up for this class. And I'm like, oh gosh,
And we at the crib?
And I'm like, we got to find somewhere else. I can't.
They're going to be on top of each other, right?
Yeah. So we ended up going to a building downtown. We knew somebody that worked there at the time. We went up on the 12th floor and they moved all their furniture. And Molly and I still talk about it to this day. You'll never forget it. When you get up to that floor, there's like 6 elevators.
Right.
And there's a hallway. And I remember we were just getting ready to do the class, just the regular class. And I was walking to the bathroom and you had to walk by the elevators. and all, like, it was almost like they all opened up at once, and like people just can't, and I was like, oh.
And this is for your class?
Yes. And there was like 100 people there.
See what you thinking. Holy crap.
And then that day, so we were still like doing signups for 365. They were all signing up, and we had like over 100 people sign up for this class. Like,
and hopefully we
for this program.
And hopefully we might can get 10.
Yeah. And it just happened like that. I'm not even kidding you. Like it was just like that. And it's been a staple of the studio ever since. It's literally the reason that studio stays afloat is because of the people that are in the program.
Ah, there you go, man.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I mean, all the members, they're all supportive of us. They really are. Well, most people, but they.
Yeah, I got you.
So that was it, and then we've just been grinding ever since.
So for people viewing us right now, I'm wondering what the world are they talking about? What is yoga?
Yoga. People think it's just stretching and poses, but. So I explain yoga. Yoga is like an umbrella term. So if you think of the word like sports, there's baseball, football.
Right.
Okay. So yoga is just the umbrella term for all the practices. And there's technically 8 limbs, but there's 3 physical practices. One is called asana. That's like the actual poses that you do. So like down dog, all the ones that people talk about.
Yes.
But that's the actual practice. And there's meditation. And then it's called pranayama, but it's just breathing techniques.
Yeah,
so
it's funny because when I was growing up, I used to think personally myself, yoga. I used to go, man, I'm a boxer. I'm going to go sit around and go like this for,
right.
I was like, what is that?
Right. Yeah. Oh, but it's so good. So those are the 3 physical practices. And then there's 5 other limbs that it's basically just like rules to adhere by, etc. Like how to live your life, how to be like moral, ethical, that kind of stuff.
So is there a certain practice you do, or does it incorporate, or you have incorporated all the yoga into your
So we do all of it.
Right.
So at the studio we teach, like I teach still like meditations, we do breath work there. We do obviously the asana practice, which is most people consider, that's what they would call
Beautifulness
yoga.
Meditation, tell me what. It does a different.
It's like.
But we're seeking. What are we seeking? Are we seeking that energy of peace?
I don't know. Whatever. Yeah. To be happy. To be one.
Right. Right.
To be one, like connected. To the one, which we are. Everything's connected.
Is there like as a ex-boxer, I would go to the gym. I go, yeah, man, I'm about 2-3 hour workout time. Y'all can get it. I get it in. But yoga is different. You don't necessarily have to do an hour or.
No, you don't have to. I mean, that's my favorite. We do sometimes not, like the 365 people that are in that. I'll teach that Friday night, and we do 90 minutes.
Oh wow! So is that covering a lot of different?
Yeah, we do all sorts of stuff in that. Yeah, but I mean the style that I like I said, is I like a powerful class. I like to feel like I get a workout because
you got that bang, man.
Yeah, and it makes my body feel good, and my mind feel good. That's just what I'm connected to.
I feel like jumping up doing something now, just sitting here talking. Once I start doing something, I got you.
But I have a respect for all of it, and so at the studio we don't have just that. We also do like restore classes where you don't move a ton and you like use props and like, because that's important as well, right? Like it needs to be well rounded, and so we offer all of that there. The studio is not necessarily. My studio, at least, there's some studios that have like a lot of different styles of yoga. So like they'll bring different teachers in that teach different.
Okay.
Our studio is very similar. We have different classes, but it's not different styles necessarily.
Right.
So
you incorporate.
Yeah, because I like the consistency. That's like what. Yeah. If I'm going to the studio, that's what I want. So
and tell us the name of your studio again.
Am Yoga.
Where's it located?
We're on 4th and Seward.
Okay, and you've been there how long?
It'll be 8 years on April 1st.
Ah, you rock, honey. Now tell me, okay, you got a lot of different classes.
Yep.
And what's the time of your business?
All the way around the clock. So.
It depends on the basis of
we have classes every day.
Oh wow.
In various different times.
Right.
And then even like we don't ever, unless there's like a really bad storm or something, we don't even close, like we still have classes on Thanksgiving and Christmas.
You took that 365 literally.
We're going all the way. Well, yeah. If we're going to do
it.
If we're going to do it, we're doing it. Mess around with that.
Hopefully you'll get to yoga class.
That's right. But the cool thing about 365 too is, and now all of our, because of COVID, which, whatever, we got shut down for a year, which is ridiculous.
How did, so when that happened, because like everybody business had to transform, do something different. Was there like Zoom classes, or did you continue at all?
So we would actually do parking lot classes, because you could.
You do what?
So we have this big parking lot.
Oh, like in restaurants, we could. set out outside parking.
Yes.
Yeah, you did the same in yoga?
Our parking lot is really big, which is also a bonus for down on the west side because not a lot of people have parking, but we have parking.
That's
right. So we would do parking lot classes and we would do Facebook Live. And we would let people do that. We would our teachers would teach like out of their houses so people could just log on for free.
So your parking lot filled up pretty good?
Oh yeah. Heck yeah. I should show you some of the pictures next time. It was
really
incredible.
Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah. So you continued that through the pandemic?
Yep. But because of that, now, because of the pandemic, the platform that we use, it's MindBody. That's like the back end of our software where I like log people in and stuff like that for classes. Right. They started doing live streaming. So now all of our classes, even when it's in the studio, they're live streamed online.
Oh, wow. So if you're at home,
yes.
and you can't get there, you still can be there.
Yep. And then then 365 has its own separate website where I upload like content that I create. So, or like our teachers create. So I would do like a 5-minute class if somebody needed that, meditations. And so that's also like on a separate website that people for 365 get. That's different than just like a 60-minute class.
So you like that warrior kind of yoga teacher, right?
Yeah.
Because you got a ball of energy.
If you're gonna do it, let's do it.
I can feel your vibes.
And I'm not like the typical yoga teacher either.
What do you mean?
Like I told you, I'm funny.
Yeah, you are. I got tears in my eyes.
I swear.
Okay, yeah, you gotta get down with your business, man.
I swear, like that's how I talk, you know.
Yeah, that's just you.
Yeah, right. So like one of my pet peeves is
from New York.
No,
from Western,
but people think so. People think so.
That's why I'm saying that. You sound like one of them New Yorkers right now.
Yeah, I know. Or people will say like, "Are you from Minnesota?" And I'm like, "I'm not Minnesota." No.
Okay.
From Minnesota.
So
get real.
Tell me about some structures of your classes. Tell us some names of some moves and what's the benefit that people get. Now, when you do yoga, you know, like I do boxing, I tell somebody to do 500 sit-ups. I tell them to do that because when they box, I don't want them to get hurt. So what are tell us something about yoga.
Well, the classes follow kind of like a similar structure each time. So part of also what we do at the studio is I lead teacher trainings, and I'm in the middle of one right now, that's actually like the thing that I love the most is to teach people how to teach because I love to watch.
You're giving back.
I love to watch.
Giving back.
Well, I love to watch them be nervous and then stand up and be confident in their feet and can actually deliver a class. That's something cool.
So you taught her pretty good.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Always my joke in classes.
You know what I like about listening? You don't mean to interrupt. You know what I like so far about listening?
Everything?
You started, even that look. I just ain't looking that much. And you started off the story with saying how you went to this class. You hated it. As soon as you got home, you loved it.
Yeah.
And you did it more and more. And it was important for you to learn more because you wanted to get back. And you know, since we've been talking, I don't know, 10, 12, 13 minutes, whatever, your whole ideology has been giving back. I'm teaching the teachers, giving,
Yeah, there's
I like this.
That's the only
There's no selfishness anywhere.
No. And I've learned actually from having a business and a practice that you have to have boundaries and you have to do stuff for yourself, but the more you give, it comes back.
Right.
It always does.
Right.
It always does. Yeah. And it may not look in the way that I thought, but it always comes back.
Who is yoga for? I mean, for the old?
It's for everybody. It's for everybody.
What about kids?
But we used to have kids classes all the time there.
You really?
Heck yeah. I used to, so I have 3 boys. When they were younger, people used to ask me all the time, like, well, how do you do yoga with 3 boys? I'm like, well, I throw my mat down in the middle of my living room and let them crawl all over me.
And get it done, right?
Well, yeah, because people are waiting.
It's like, I put my mat down and I get it done.
Yeah. And then over time, though, what they learned when my mat came, they wouldn't bother me. They would just do their own thing.
Because mom doing their thing.
Yeah. But it always like struck me because people are waiting for like the perfect
There's no perfect
scenario.
Just do it, right?
And they're like, oh, like you need like a quiet Zen space. No, you don't.
Right.
Let those babies crawl all over you. It's gonna be loud. Like life is just not like that. So you gotta make it happen.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So the boys would do yoga when they were younger all the time.
Oh, did they?
I still make them do it.
I was to say, are they?
Yeah, not as often because now they're a little older, and so they're like, whatever, mom. But but.
What they tell you?
Whatever, mom. You guys want to go to yoga? No. You're coming anyway. Pick the wrong mom to say no.
Queen Yoga say, we're going.
Yeah, no, so we used to have kids classes all the time at the studio. We had kids awesome. Teachers, and and it's for everybody, like all ages. It's for everybody.
Okay.
So the classes follow the same structure as like basically anything, at least our main power ones do. It's based, like you do a warm up. So they're called sun salutations, where you get your body to move, your breath to move.
Just when you're first starting?
Yes.
Take us through a starting class.
Okay, so you start, it's called child's pose. And you like literally like forehead on the ground.
Just be chilling?
Knees, like forehead down. And then you get up and they're called sun salutations, and it's a rhythmic movement that's repetitive, and it's one pose per breath. So you would like rise, inhale, forward fold, exhale. Halfway lift, which is just a long spine inhale. And then we call it chaturanga, which is basically low plank. It's a low push-up.
Okay.
Exhale, and then up dog, right? It's like that back bend, you come up, and then down dog. And then you hold, at our studio, hold down dog for 3 breaths, and then you go through that whole pattern again.
Oh, wow.
And you do that around like 5 times, because then it gets your body like in all ranges of motions. They're called sun salutations.
Sun
salutations.
Sun salutations.
Yes.
Yes.
And then there's that, and then you add on to the sun salutations.
So this is us starting our class.
Yes.
So you
so
get
that's the warm up.
You get us in there.
Yeah. So I consider like every class, we consider it like a hill, right? Okay. So it's like you warm up. There's a peak of the practice, and then you cool down.
Right.
Like that. And so that's just basically like any workout. I would say that a lot of people that do workouts, not a lot, it's just a theme that I hear a lot, is a lot of, like they'll go to the gym and they'll like work out really hard, but then they miss the stretching and the cool down.
Yeah.
And or like people that run, I get a lot of this, and not everybody, I'm not judging, but I get a lot of runners that like run marathons, and they'll come in like their 50s and 60s, and their body's spent because they don't stretch.
Exactly.
And it's basically like they're pounding pavement, and they're not keeping the mobility.
They're not getting that spiritual lift.
Yeah, and yoga gets a lot of like attention for being flexible, and yes, that, but I like it more. I like to call it more like mobility, because
it is.
I want to keep people mobile.
Yes.
And I use this example a lot, but it's also like yoga, you also need the strength of it, because, so as I age, I always want to be able to bend down and like tie my shoes.
Exactly.
You can't even imagine the amount of people that can't do that.
Yes.
But I also want to be able to get back up. And so I need the strength. Right, so it's both. I need that mobility and the strength, and it's like for life. I mean, people don't think about it. People don't think about it. But if you put your pants on, you have to lift. So like we do balancing poses a lot on one leg, because it tones like all of your joints, knees, hips, ankles. But you don't think about it when you put your pants on. You have to.
And it's
you
funny.
have to be on one leg.
Yes, because even my viewers know that I went through vaccination. I don't talk much about it. And I got the syndrome called Guillain-Barré or something. And it has stopped a lot of my movement.
Yeah,
that might be something I can do while I'm here.
Absolutely, because it just creates that mind-body.
Can I be a guest at your class?
Yes, anytime you want.
All right.
Yeah, it's just mind-body connection. Even things like people don't think about this, but you put groceries in your car. And so like, let's say you're getting the bags out of the car. That's like you're pulling the bag up and you're twisting. Or like I have to reverse my car. Like I have to, now they have the cameras. But I have to turn like this. And so we do twists. So people don't think. It's like life stuff.
Right. It's 365.
Yeah, and if you don't use it,
I don't know where I got that from, but that's sticking in my head.
Better. 365 for life.
365 for life, baby.
No, but it's all, so the movements really though are essential for like your everyday life. And that's what I want. I want just people to feel good, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically.
And look good and be good.
And
365 days.
And because and my main thing is this: when people are good with themselves, they're good to other people, and when they're not, that's when the bad stuff.
Right.
So like you get.
You got to feel good.
You get good
feel good personally.
You get good in here. You get good out there.
Right.
That's it.
So what happens if people are afraid to come, hon? What if they don't? Do you get that where you think
everybody.
Where you think people are afraid to go?
Yes.
Because I've done it before, and you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I walked into class. I was like, ooh. All right. And I like, here, it's a big bad boxer. I can do anything.
Yeah.
Then they started stretching, honey. Because did you know I found out that I'm not as flexible as I thought I was. So I took my little mat and I tried to hide way back in the back.
Oh yeah, that's okay.
And then as they're doing what's that, planks?
Yeah.
I'm looking up. And it's like I ain't got all this rhythm yet.
Yeah.
So it takes a moment.
Yeah, it does. And
it's funny, I hated it, but I didn't turn into no teacher or owner. But I liked it. After I got done, I was like,
of course.
Man, I'm going to be able to do that. I can do that.
Well, it's funny. We always joke because people, when they're new, they start in the back and then eventually
y'all know we do that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I thought we was going to Oh, y'all know why we hiding in the back?
We know. I've been teaching for a long time. Like, there's no, I know what's up.
Yeah,
so they
I ran right to the back and hid.
Yeah, and then eventually they get to the middle, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, like within a couple months, they're in the front row. And whenever they do, I'm like, oh, you in the front row now.
You know, that progress, progress.
And then you actually learn that like the front row is kind of actually where it's at, because when you're in down dog all the time, we're actually looking at the back row a ton. So people think they're hiding, but like really, like we see you the most if you're in the back. If you're in the front.
What breathing is highly important in your field.
Yeah, most people don't breathe correctly.
Say it again?
Most people don't breathe correctly. So pranayama, like that's the Sanskrit word for breathing practices, but there's so many of them, different ones. But when you're in a yoga class, you do one called ujjayi breath, and it's in and out of the nose.
Ujjayi breath.
Ujjayi, yep. And it has like an audible quality
think about changing
to it.
My name. Welcome to the show. I'm Ujjayi.
Yeah, you should.
I'm Brother Ujjayi.
Yeah.
I like that.
It means like powerful and victorious.
I love that name.
Maybe that's my name now.
I'm Ujjayi. I'm Ujjayi now.
No, it's such a powerful breath.
I mean,
it's what connects the mind. It connects the body and the mind. People actually, there have been studies that people that are in comas, they'll come up out of a coma with ujjayi breath. Right. It like heals them. It sounds like the ocean. So it's like a like that. And so most people don't breathe correctly. They breathe like...
again, we need some candles. I got all relaxed, Will.
Oh boy. Yeah, no, so it's like that. It's like, and over time, you learn how to breathe correctly. And so like most people don't, so your lungs are like at the bottom of your ribs.
Yeah, so it goes through all your body. And
yes. And ultimately what that does, so most people don't know your breath is your number one source of energy, more than sleep, food, anything.
Yes.
People don't know that. I mean, you come in to this life on an inhale, you leave on an exhale. And in between, people are breathing incorrectly. Yes. And if you're not breathing correctly, you're not getting as much energy as you could. And your thoughts are connected to your energy levels.
Oh, yeah.
So there's tendencies of the mind that everybody has, but when your energy is low, like if you had a problem, it's like, like the whole world is a mess. Right. But if you're energized and you feel good, you can handle any problem.
Take that off your shoulder.
But your thoughts are actually connected to your energy levels. So people who have, like I said, low energy, their thoughts are bad and negative. Yeah. And people that have higher internal energy, their thoughts are more positive.
That's someone like us.
And then,
Like, what am I?
Ujjayi.
Like Ujjayi.
And so then that affects, like your thoughts affect the quality of your life, and that's what I'm about. But people don't know this stuff. Right? And so like nobody's denying, like if I'm like, yeah, coffee is has caffeine and it'll up your energy. People are like, yeah, but I'm like, but if you do breathing practices, it'll up it even more. And they're like,
not yet.
But I'm not flexible.
Right.
I'm like, okay, but
let's learn. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's
your lungs are just like an organ, but
as we're younger, we're stronger, we're flexible. Yeah. Sooner or later, we're going to get older. We don't have immortality. Why? So it should be 365 days.
Yeah, and even if it's 2 minutes.
Right.
It's still that like pause, like for yourself.
I caught you on one of your social media videos. I think you were doing a power something. What was that? Tell me about that.
So that's the main thing we do at the studio is a power class.
That was hot.
Yeah, it's
good. No, I mean, you can feel the energy, like really sitting with you, knowing you out in public. I always told you, wow, man, it's so cool to see you because you just light up my day.
Oh, that's nice.
And I tell you that because I mean it, because I just feel your spirit and your energy.
Thank you. That's nice. Good. Yeah, I mean, I hope to be. I mean, you're either an example or a warning, and so I hope to be.
You're an example.
I hope to be. I don't always get it right, but I hope
but
to.
You try.
I hope to share the good. I hope to share the good. It's like it's part of just why I'm on this planet. I just know it. It's to share this practice in a way where I feel like I'm not everybody's teacher. I know that. I don't claim to be. I'm not for everybody. But the people who I am for, I'm 100% for. And I connect to a more like grounded yoga. Like one of my things that drives me crazy when I go to other studios, and not that other studios always have this, but
do you still visit other studios now that you're in your own, or you know
if I'm out of town, I do. And it's nothing against any of the studios around here.
Right, but you have your own practice.
I know what I like, so I don't like. That's so what, and I want to go support my teachers as well, and that's just what I like.
Do you find a lot of men in yoga?
Oh, At our studio, yes.
Huh?
Yeah, that's a great.
Look who the teacher was. Well, I would go too. Okay, well.
No, I think it's just also too because the type of practice we do lends to, like, we get a lot of athletes and stuff. Right. So back to, like, when you were saying you're a boxer and you come in, you're like, oh my gosh, I have 3 brothers as well, and they're all like really strong, like weightlifters. Right. And when they come, they're like, that is the hardest workout I've ever done.
No,
I
will
believe
testify that.
And one of my, like, this is kind of sick a little bit. But like sometimes I'll get guys that I don't know that come in and I'm like, hey, just like water whenever you need it, take care of yourself. And they kind of are like, okay. Yeah. And then like 10 minutes in, they're huffing and puffing looking at me. I'm like, I tried to tell you.
Look, I'm put my head down on that one because you know why? I lived that.
Yeah.
You know, the first time somebody said, hey, man, come check out our yoga.
But it's like anything else.
I know, I'm thinking, what's that? I'm me, Pam, golden man.
It's just like anything else. So if I went to boxing, I would be winning. It's just a different workout. But people don't understand it.
I'm not going to lie to you. It's rough. It's not easy.
No.
Is it easy?
No.
No. The first time I ever went, I hid behind everybody. The lady said, drink water as much as you can. I'm thinking we ain't did nothing yet. I'm back there like shadow boxing. I'm at the yoga shadow box, stretching and bending. And all of a sudden that class started. I was like lost. I was lost in the mix. Next thing I knew, I was grabbing my water bottle every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So I left that day with much love and respect, and I did continue to go. Yeah. And then I tried. Tell us difference. One of my guests asked me, I told him I was doing the show, what is the difference between Pilates and yoga? That's a big difference, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So, I've done Pilates a few times.
And Pilates just like drill sergeant, kick my butt.
Yeah, I've only done Pilates a few times, so I don't know a ton about it.
Right, but there is a difference.
There's a difference. The Pilates that at least I've done, it's more structured. It's way more. Yoga still has alignment, like physically, like we do that, but it's just a little bit more, and it's not. It's just different.
It's not Pilates.
It's just not.
I can answer a question, and I can just go. It's not. Yoga is not Pilates. No, Pilates is not yoga.
Yes, it's very different. And I mean, I can tell you about yoga, but I don't know a ton about Pilates.
Right. Yeah, I just wondered what it was. So I told her.
I have a respect for it.
Because I told her also I don't think it's the same.
Yeah, no.
And I have respect for both of them because I did a Pilates class too. Lady, I'm not even gonna lie. Lady was like 68 years old. I was like, my people was like, man, this is a tough class. I was like, man, I ain't doing nothing. Yeah. Okay, I only went once. I never ever went back. I was at home, been a closet Pilates and yoga guy. I was scared to go in the public, man.
I'm sure. Seems like you have a theme here.
I know, right? So what's the mission of? Is it AM? Is it AM? I know. AM yoga. What's our mission there?
To bring yoga to as many people as I can.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's beautiful.
To share it as much as I can. And
is there a lot of chanting and why we see on TV? But check it out. Let me say, I just saw yoga people. I know you just saw yoga on TV. And they start off with this, but some people just straight at it, right?
Yeah. So we just go straight at it. But there's many benefits to chanting. I mean, you can Google that, but we don't.
Right.
I mean, we're in Grand Rapids, Michigan, so I have to, and I don't. I mean, like I still bring the practices here, but there's still just people get real. They're already weirded out by they're not flexible. So then if I do that, it's extra. But even though there are, I study that stuff and do it.
So it's Kung Fu yoga.
It's Kung Fu?
Yeah.
That's martial arts.
I know, but I'm saying.
I think everything's yoga.
Yeah, I do too.
I think everything's
because it's spiritual
yoga.
and the way they go by it, way before the combative part, like a boxer. Yeah. They go through a lot of stretching. They go through a lot of.
Well, any martial arts is a lot of.
Right. Yeah.
It's like the self-control. Which is part of yoga as well, to learn how to manage what's going on.
Wow, that's great, man. So, do you still have kids classes or no?
We don't after COVID. It just
COVID changed. COVID changed so much.
We have recorded. I have them in our library, on the website, so people could do that. One of our teachers, her name's Becky. She's great. She actually wrote a book that's for parents about how to implement these practices for kids when they're at home and stuff.
What a mind-blowing, healthy thing that would be, right?
Yeah. We still do We do a program we call it Baby Mama, and so
you call what?
We call it Baby Mama, but
you
it's
just
for like
you just got all kind of rhythm.
I know it.
I gotta keep up with her.
I know it.
It's called Baby Mama.
Yeah, we call it that. It's funny, but any guardian can come. It doesn't have to just be moms, but yeah. So we do like parent and kids.
Oh,
and Becky will teach them, and
really?
the kids are like flying. Yeah,
that's
so like
fun.
that's cool. Yeah, so we still do that.
I get that. It was like going home getting your hair done.
Yeah, people ask us for the kids' classes back all the time, but it's just kids are tough just because there's. Not tough.
Span?
They're not tough. No. It's just on the scheduling end. Like I can only have a certain amount. I need them to sign up. It's a lot of that.
Yeah.
But I do think the earlier that they can start, the better, because there's so many benefits, like emotional regulation, like learning how to be in your body. Like there's just so many benefits.
Disciplines for you. Yeah.
Correct.
So if you want to sign up for your studio, how do you go by doing that?
So you can either use the MindBody. So MindBody is an app that like ton of all fitness studios use, not every single one, but a ton of them. So you can find our studio on there. Or if you just go to our website, it's amyoga11131s.com. Am, but like, just so people know, it's AMYOGA.
But it's AM.
111. Yes, it's AM. But if you call it AM, we don't correct you.
You let it be.
I'll correct you.
Okay, I know. We close.
That's right.
It's been beautiful, man. So, the benefit of yoga, give it to me.
There's a million, you can Google it.
Okay.
There's everything.
Right.
Everything.
Life.
There's not
life.
Just
is yoga life.
To your quality of life.
Right.
Enhances your intuition, which people don't. They go like flexibility. No. Like it connects you to your intuition, which everybody has, but it strengthens that. Your quality of life. You feel better. You feel good.
Yes.
You're better to yourself, which I think is the most important. I mean, like the most important relationship should be the one with yourself.
With yourself.
And most people are not. And I think that what happens in yoga, it's actually, part of it is the number one thing I hear is I'm not flexible. And I'm like, well, no kidding, because you don't yoga.
You say, really?
No kidding. and the second one is I'm too busy, and I'm so over that excuse. Everybody's busy.
Yeah,
Don't tell me, like, because what yoga does is it makes you like examine your life. So that's what 365 did. I get people that are like, I don't have time. I'm like, okay, but you just watched an hour of Netflix, so you're trying to tell me you don't have time?
Exactly. To take care of you?
Yes.
Yeah.
And to be you don't have 5 minutes. I just don't buy that anymore.
Yeah.
I don't buy that anymore from anybody. So not flexible and too busy are their two main reasons.
Right.
But I think, honestly, people they don't know what they're doing. So, if they don't know, they're scared to come, which I understand, which is why we teach you. But nobody knows.
And that's why you go to learn.
It would be weird if you came in for a first class and knew what you were doing.
Exactly.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Everybody's had a first class. And then beyond that, what I think actually is the issue is people, when you're on your mat, when you're practicing, you have to like be with yourself. Right. And I think it's really confronting because all of a sudden you're like, oh wow, my hamstring is really tight. Oh shoot, my thoughts are like, I'm really talking negatively to myself.
Right.
The practice is super confronting. It like puts you right in front of you, and there's nowhere you can't be distracted. You can't distract with like something out here or Netflix or whatever. Like you're like there. And so I think people have a hard time with that because they're not used to actually looking at themselves.
That person in the mirror.
But I think
this is me.
Yeah. So we call our classes power because they are like physically strong, but like you build the strength, right? And you can rest whenever you want, water whenever you want. But I think the real power is in learning how to look at yourself and grow and be better. Because what else? What else are you doing?
Exactly.
And if you're not doing that, what are you doing?
What are you doing? You're just living.
Right. And so to me, that's your power. Yeah. That's your power. You get on your mat, you pay like, oh wow, like I'm showing up in this way. I don't want to. Oh yep, my leg is tight. Good. I'm doing the work on it. And I think that's the main goal.
I love that, honey. Do you ever go out and speak in the community? I mean, do you ever? Would you like something like that? I think.
Yeah, I would love it.
I have totally.
I would love it.
Even though this is my show, I have totally learned and then have enjoyed every moment of listening to you.
Yes, I mean that is something that we've talked about.
Hit those kids up, man. They should have you girls in school.
Yeah. I mean, I used to do it like, so my kids go to Northview. That's where I went, Northview in Grand Rapids, and I used to do like some PDs there, so like professional development. So I would go and talk to them about it. Molly and I did a creative mornings talk, which is this cool program that they have in Grand Rapids where like it's in the morning and we did like this whole talk and people come and have coffee and whatever. I mean, it's something that I would like to get into more. I mean, I basically public speak on the daily.
There's a lot of life.
I'm standing up.
There's a lot of beautiful, energetic life in Western Michigan, especially in Grand Rapids. And I have the pleasure of sitting in front of you.
Yeah.
You shine like a star, honey. Your
Thanks.
power is
Thanks.
well observed.
Thank you.
So we would like to thank you for being a guest on our show.
No, I appreciate
And
you.
I want you to tell us where your studio, name of your studio, unless I can say it. You know what I'm going to say, right?
AM?
What's the name of your studio? Amy Yost.
It's AM Yoga. We're on the west side.
Right.
For now, we'll be there. Well, we'll be there for a while, but we're looking at some other spots. So
and you've
just
been
hang
there
tight.
how long?
It will be 8 years, April 1st.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So right there, 4th and Seward. It's really easy. We have parking.
And
you can just show up. You don't even have to pre-register for classes. You just show up and we got you.
And everybody, there's yoga for everyone. Don't be afraid.
No, don't be afraid.
And like she said, you're going to come in. You're not going to be her. I wouldn't go to her class and think I'm going to be her, but it's, right? But you got to build.
I don't want you to be me. I want you to be you.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? You got to build up to it, you know?
Yeah, we have classes, like we have beginner classes. We have all sorts of stuff.
I can still hide in the back of the room if I come?
You can hide wherever, yes.
Because I move my way up.
But eventually,
I'll move my way
you gotta move up.
Ashley.
That's right. That's right.
I want to thank you, honey. I love you.
Thank you.
Can
So
I hug
good to see you. Of course you can.
Awesome.
Good to see you.
So if you want yoga, check this one out because you know exactly what she's doing. It's AM Yoga.
That's right. That's right.
And this is my girl, Ashley Yost. And what a pleasure.
Thank you.
honey.
Thank you.
Yes.